Marquez's. You have to think that they're young and, you want to, try to protect them a little bit. And maybe if you go with an 8-man bullpen, you feel like you kind of win this battle with a plethora of arms, with a bullpen full of arms coming at you. I mean, it's an interesting strategy. And it looks like the Colorado Rockies have kind of started this last year when they went out and signed Mike Dunn and they signed Greg Holler, or they brought in Greg Holler. So I think they look at it as it was a successful year this year, and maybe they were just a bullpen arm short. And they got 3 pretty good bullpen arms right there. They re-signed Chris Iannetta. He's coming back to play for them. I didn't even know Chris Iannetta was still in the league. I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea that guy was still in the league. He still plays. Yeah, he still plays. That's crazy. Wow, I had no idea. So they brought him back. And I'm not sure if the Colorado Rockies are going to spend any more money. I mean, they've spent over what? It's probably... They've probably spent over... and just this year, I mean, you think about it. McGee, Sean, and Wade Davis. You're talking about 190 innings pitched for $35 million this year. So instead of going out and investing in a Yu Darvish or a Jake Arrieta, they're banking on bullpens in Colorado. It's interesting. It's a very interesting strategy. I kind of like it. And you look at, I've been saying this now for the past couple weeks. I mean, relief pitching has been at an all-time premium value. You look now, Mike Minor's gone, Brandon Morrow, Juan Nicasio, Brian Shaw went to the Rocks, Brandon Kinsler, Swarzak, Cishek, Nishak, Joe Smith, Gregerson, Rodney. I mean, one by one, all those relievers are coming down. I mean, who's left? You got Holland and Addison Reed. They're still available. And then I would say that next tier would be like a Tony Watson and a Brian Dunsing. So you got to think that at some point here, we're going to start digging into some starting pitching. And some deals have got to get done here in January with arbitration coming up. I'm going to be really interested to see how Scott Boras shuffles this all around. Now, I said I do have some questions about Wade Davis. I mean, you look at the numbers on the surface and they look pretty good. You got a 2.30 ERA with a 1.14 whip. And I like the fact, 40.5% ground ball ratio in Coors Field. You gotta like that. But here's the problem. Just a year before that, Wade Davis was floating around 48% ground ball ratio. Now he's down to 40. That means, the ball's not biting the way it used to. Batters aren't driving it into the ground. They're lifting it. And they're getting angle on it. And they're getting torque. And he got torqued up a couple times last year at the bullpen for the Cubs. He gave up some bombs. He did have 79 Ks and 58 2/3 innings. I mean, I'm not saying... Look, we all know that Wade Davis is a baller. We all know. But he's 32 years old, and he's signing a 3-year contract. And don't be fooled, that's a 4-year contract because that's a player option. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to see where the market stands when he's 36, 37 years old, and no one else is going to pay him $17 million. It's not even going to be close. So he's going to be with the Rockies for the next 4 years, barring a trade. And look, I think next year, or even the year after, you can probably slide by with him there. But I do think that Wade Davis is in decline. Maybe the Rocks just feel like, man, we're just going to load it up with arms. And theoretically, let's say it doesn't quite work out. For some crazy, odd reason, it doesn't work out with Wade Davis in, say, year 3. Well, they're going to have plenty of arms in the bullpen to supplement for that loss. And like I said, I think the Colorado Rockies, they might be the one team in baseball that would benefit from a robust bully. The high altitude, it takes a lot out of the pitchers. It affects your breathing and your stamina. And while the price of Major League pitching, while the price of relievers is rising, there's still a bargain. I mean, you look at them, there's still a bargain. 3 years, $52 million with a vesting player option. That's for $15 million. I'm telling you, his 4th year, nobody's going to give him $15 million when he's 36, 37, so he's going to be with them, barring a trade. And that's going to push the contract at $66 million over 4 years. So now, like I said, former Colorado Rockies closer Greg Holland is still on the market. Now, it remains to be seen what the Cubs are going to do about their closer situation. Will they promote from within? You know, that hasn't worked well for them. Or will they go out and get someone? And will they go after Greg Holland? That would be interesting. And here's the thing about Greg Holland. He's still on the market. And he declined a $15 million player option at the beginning of last year. So I don't know what he thinks he's going to get. I mean, if Wade Davis was the number 1 rated closer on the market and he got 17.2, I would be hard pressed to see Holland getting 15, right? You think he gets 16? I mean, I don't know. I guess in retrospect, he might have just wanted to take that offer. The Rockies have now put $100 million into that bullpen. That's a lot of money. That's risky money. Bullpen is risky money. Now, I done told you, Brian Shaw's a rubber arm. But how long is that rubber arm going to last? I mean, I saw Jesse Orosco do it until he was like 104. I'm not saying it can't be done. Man, that's a lot of money. $100 million into their bully. And like I said, this strategy began last year for the Colorado Rockies when they dove headfirst into signing Mike Dunn and Holland. Wade Davis still strikes out 12 Ks per 9 innings. The Colorado Rockies, their bullpen last year was 24-19. That was their win-loss record from their bullpen last year. That's pretty damn good. That is very, very good, actually. So, I know I said it to you, 2 weeks ago. I really liked what the Colorado Rockies were doing. I know a lot of people now are on that bandwagon, and that's okay. I say fill it up, baby, because I got to tell you, I really do like what they're going to do. I think they're going to overwhelm you in numbers, and I think, they're going to try to protect those young starters as much as they can, and I think Colorado is the perfect place to have this kind of strategy. And this, look, we already know that investing in a Mike Hampton, that don't work, right? They wasted all that money on that. Didn't they sign Denny Nagel too? I mean, they signed these arms. It didn't work. So maybe they're going to have to try to attack this thing in a whole different way. And kudos to the Colorado Rockies for trying to find a way, rather than throwing baseballs in a humidor, to, win baseball games. Unbelievable. So here we are. 2018. You're listening to Jake Robinson Sports Experience. It's your boy, Jake Robinson. Holler if you hear me. Aye. And I gotta tell you, all this being nice has fucking made me exhausted. I mean, everybody with the happies and the happies. I'm just so glad all this is over. I'm ready to go forward. I ain't got no time to look back. I gotta go forward. Kyle Chambers out of Washington, New Jersey. He asked me, what would a realistic contract for Hosmer be? And who is the most likely to sign him? You know, I kind of hate telling you guys who I think would most likely sign him because, you know, it's all theory and conjecture with me, you know. I get my information just like you do. But I look at the market for Eric Hosmer, and I think it's really shrinking. I mean, I can remember thinking, like, when the season was ending, like, wow, I'm really curious to see what Eric Hosmer gets on the free agent market. Because I feel like he put up a career year. I feel like he did everything that he was supposed to do. He's a world champion. And I love that kid. I love watching that kid play baseball. And look, he's not the big power hitter that seems to run the day in baseball nowadays. But man, that kid can swing a stick. And he can really get after it. And I'm looking around. I'm thinking during the offseason, man, there's going to be some takers on Hosmer. And it just hasn't materialized at all. The Phillies signed former Indians first baseman Carlos Santana, 3 years at $60 million plus an option. The Red Sox, they signed Mitch Moreland, 2 years, $13 million. And honestly, I thought that was the perfect place for Hosmer to go. I really did. I thought that Hosmer and Fenway Park is just unreal. Unreal. That guy might hit 350 in that park. And I'm not even joking. The Mariners traded for A's first baseman Ryan Healy. The Nationals inked Matt Adams to a one-year deal for $4 million. And as I told you last week about Yonder Alonso, he signed that 2-year, $16 million deal with the Tribe. So the first basemen are coming down. And the big dog at the top, he's still sitting there. And owners and GMs are just finding cheaper options at first base. It doesn't seem like first base is a very hard position to fill these days. I mean, you look out there, there's still Lucas Duda, Logan Morrison, Adrian Gonzalez, Pedro Alvarez, Danny Valencia, and, you know, who else? Mark Reynolds, you know. All these guys are going to be much, much cheaper options, and some of them are still very, very productive. Now, they're not Eric Hosmer productive, but you're trying to find a balance between, you know, production of cost and the production that you're getting in return. And like I said, I thought the Red Sox was the logical destination, but the Sox feel like they can capture a portion of Hosmer's production at a fraction of the cost in Mitch Moreland. You know, like, I guess the Red Sox are looking at it like, if we can get 75% of Hosmer's production out of Mitch Moreland and it only costs us 13 for 2 years, then let's just go that route. I mean, maybe the signing of Santana helps in a way, in some way. Maybe it just, it helps him on the free agent market. And it gives the owners and Scott Boras a better understanding of where the market is.